Welcome back. Back to school season, of course, means back to planning school lunches. Some kids bring lunches packed at home. Others get a hot lunch from school. Either way, though, you want to make sure that lunch is healthy, right? 9 News health and medical expert Dr. Coley here this morning to talk more about that very thing. So, Dr. Coley, let's get into this. Generally speaking, as far as school cafeteria lunches go, can we consider those to be healthy? Should parents be okay with that option?
You know, Drew, they have gotten so much healthier since I was a kid. We used to have sloppy joes,
sloppy joes,
hot dogs. You remember that?
Yes.
So I would say yes, because they have to follow federal nutritional standards.
Okay.
So parents should not feel guilty about kids eating at school. In fact, what I suggest parents do, they actually look at the menu, engage their kid the night before and say, hey, what vegetable are you going to try tomorrow? The downside of eating at school is you don't have a sense of how much they ate.
Sure.
So it's a little hard to keep track of what your kid is doing, especially if they're a picky eater.
I'll tell you what was frustrating for us. We did pack the kids' lunches, and when I say we, their mom did it because I was always working the morning shift.
Fair
Except
enough.
one year, when I was working afternoons, I did have to pack the lunches every day that year. And it is frustrating when you send those lunch items to school, and your kids are like, yeah, I like all that, and then they come back and it looks like it was never touched. Any suggestions on that?
So picky eaters are really common. My nephew, in fact, is one of the pickiest eaters. Every day at dinner, he says, I already ate my dinner yesterday. You're making me do this again? So I would say the data tells us you have to try 10 to 15 times with a certain food item before a child will eat it. So don't get discouraged if they bring it back. Don't feel like you have to make up for a bigger dinner if they do bring lunch back. But try to put as many healthy choices as you can in the lunches. So there's a recipe for 4 things that every lunch should have. Okay. Since you pack lunches, I'm going to ask you, what are those 4 things?
Protein.
Protein.
Got it. How about a fruit or a vegetable?
Love that.
Both or just one?
Probably 1 or 2, just so they can have a choice.
Okay.
So I like to put 2 so that they can have a choice.
But I got to come up with 2 more things?
Yes.
How about a dairy item? Okay, no, I would never put dairy.
You can.
Some kind of grain.
Whole grain.
Oh my gosh. And then something to wash it down with.
A healthy fat. But I do like the idea of adding water.
Okay.
So sometimes we forget that water is one of the 5 things every school lunch should have. So some sparkling water. Parents end up putting juices or sugary drinks, and I think that's a bad idea because that sugar really does kill your appetite, causes a crash after lunch. Not a good thing to do.
Well, you just covered a big quote unquote mistake that parents make. Are there anything else, any other mistakes that sometimes parents make when it comes to whether it's putting together a lunch or any other meal during the day?
I have noticed that parents start to create conflict around food. You have to eat that broccoli before you get up from the table.
I did
right?
that stuff, yes.
And so what that does is it creates an antagonistic relationship with food. Kids don't like that. So instead, you put broccoli and 2 other vegetables, and if they eat 1 out of 3 vegetables, that's a win. So do not create conflict around food. The other thing that parents do is they always say we have to take away the cheese puffs and take away the cereal, and instead of taking away, add. Because then children have healthy choices and they also don't feel like they're being deprived. One of the things in the modern kids' diet, there's not enough fiber. And there's way too much processed foods and sugary drinks. So adding more fiber to every meal is another idea that parents should do.
I don't know if you can answer this in like 20 seconds or less, but give it your best shot.
Okay.
Biggest nutritional gaps that you're seeing in kids today?
So I would say the biggest one is that fiber and the fruits and vegetables. So if you can replace the ultra-processed foods and the sugary drinks for those types of items instead, that's a win-win. When they come home from school, don't give them cookies. Don't give them popcorn. I don't know what your kids ate when they came home from school.
In defense of my kids, they were not picky eaters. They claim the reason they often came home with so many items still in their lunchbox is they didn't have enough time to actually eat it.
Because they were too busy doing homework at school, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So make sure they have a healthy snack after school. Not ice cream, not processed foods, nothing that's too easy, but you want to make sure it's like peanut butter and fruit, or they have hummus and vegetables, they have a boiled egg, something that's high in protein that doesn't mess up their dinner, but gives them kind of that energy they need for that evening.
Dr. Coley, some great advice. I think we also still left some time in this hour to check in with Katie real quick. Katie, do you have one more word on the weather for us? Ooh, we did run out of time, but your information was so good. We thought, you know what, we can't do any better than that. This is how we wrap up.
And you're going to think about your lunch today as well, right?
Yes.
As you're putting it together.
I'm going to have protein, fruits and vegetables, grains, and some healthy fat.
So half fruits and vegetables, a quarter lean protein, a quarter grains, and then you sprinkle some olive oil on the top.